Me personally, I see love as a journey, not a destination, right? I don't see love as a point on the graph. I see it as the entire graph. The fact that you just wake up in Nigeria, you just step outside, is already pressure. It's pressure to get to work, pressure to get. I grew up in Lagos, so getting through traffic is already pressure. You get to work, you're already on edge. You tell somebody hi, she can tell you I can slap you.
And we're just going to jump right into why we're here today to talk about barriers to finding love in the diaspora. I mean, love and marriage. So a quick question to everybody, or maybe I direct it to somebody. Do you think it's easier to be able to get married where we come from, or to find love or get somebody to be in a relationship? Compare that to the Western world. Which would you say is easier? I'll ask Ike first. Ike, what's your perspective about this? Your personal experience, not any other person's experience.
Yeah, well, it's easier to get married in Nigeria. It's easier to find love in Nigeria, trust me. Why do I say that? Here, everyone is more concerned about hustling, settling down. No one is more concerned about looking for love at first, because it's more like, for me, looking for connections. First, I want to settle in. I want to settle down, looking for businesses, looking for ways to make money, ways to settle into the province or into any city I find myself. So love is the last thing on my mind, because I'm still looking for ways to settle down. And no one here is, in Nigeria, everyone is like, almost everyone is looking for love, right? So they already know where the country is headed. But here, before you find someone who really is looking for love, then the person must have settled down. I'm looking for money.
Okay.
I'm looking for ways to, yeah. So it's really difficult. So yeah, exactly. And you see a struggling person, someone who is studying, someone who is looking for a place to, get a good job. So looking for love is basically the last thing on that person's mind. From my perspective, I'm sure I have 99 other people in this particular group chat. So, yeah.
I'm glad that we have men and women on this call and they are equal. So from the perspective of a lady, Queen, let me ask you, what's your perspective from what Ike just said? Do you really think, as a woman, this is Ike, I think Ike is a man, he's saying he wants to get money first. Is that the same perspective? What's your perspective as a lady? That kind of thing is happening here.
Like, finding love here is difficult than back home.
So the question is, which is easier? Is it easier to find love where we come from, or is it easier to find love in the Western world?
I think I agree with Ike. It's easier to find love from where we're coming from, or in where we're coming from, than here. One of it is, okay, I came into Canada as an international student. Maybe I didn't say that while introducing myself. I was just caught unaware. Yeah, so I came into Canada as an international student, and imagine dealing with immigration stress, and then you want to start like involving love or putting love. It's hard, to be very honest. It's really hard because I came in, as a student, and my priority here was just to focus on my academics, like just do well, get my papers, that kind of thing. So love was the last thing. I think, because of the stress, academic stress, you're going to work, you're going to meet up to 20 hours, that kind of thing. And then immigration, okay, your study permit is expiring, you need to meet up to tuition. So I think all of that kind of contributes to you seeking, for love. So I think finding love back home is way easier than this place.
Thank you. On a straight line, please, on a straight line.
I'm sure I'm going to get different perspective from Ife and Dami. So let me just go the way I see you on the screen. Ife, so what do you think? Do you have the same perspective with, because I want to believe that people have different perspectives, finding love here?
Well, as much as I want to play devil's advocate and say that it's easier finding love here than it is back in Africa or Nigeria, where we come from, the points actually are stronger to say that finding love in the diaspora here in Canada. as a case in point is more difficult. There are so many things. First, there's career pressure, there's immigration stress, there is you're just coming in, you're trying to settle in, it's a new environment, there are culture shocks, there's so many things that you have to deal with when you come in here. In Nigeria or in Africa, where most of us come from, we have pretty much the same background, we were used to the same things. Here, people come here, the way they see things, it now differs just because there is a westernization, and you meet people and you're trying to unpack what the new culture that these people have absorbed, and kind of you're still struggling with identifying who you really are in this new environment. And I think it's the same struggle that other people face when we are here. We are all trying to find ourselves. It's like, particularly for those of us who migrated when we were older, right? You are starting life afresh, as compared to when you're home. When you're back home, it's pretty much like the next thing on your list of to do.
Thank you very much. I mean, everybody's kind of saying the same thing, so I mean, it's kind of similar experiences. Dami, what's your perspective? What do you have to say differently from what you've been saying? Don't join them on this.
I'm actually going to break the table from the start. I was just waiting. I think I'm leaning towards finding love in diaspora being easy. And because if you factor in the fact, I think the thing we're removing is because we're used to certain things. But if you look at the same factors, it's the same things. Aside immigration, you're thinking about settling in. You meet people every day in Nigeria that, I just moved from the East. I just came to Lagos. I'm trying to settle into Lagos. I'm trying to get a job. I'm trying to get my life moving. Or you hear things like, Nigeria is happening to everybody. I don't have time for love in Nigeria. It was even the people in Nigeria would tell you that nobody has time for love in Nigeria. So it's a perspective thing, really. And that's where community comes to play. Because a lot of times, I know a lot of people that have actually opened their eyes more or welcomed love in a different aspect or in a different area when they actually moved out of Nigeria compared to when they're in Nigeria. And there's an entire school of people in Nigeria that believe that everybody's lying to them. So how are you going to get that person to believe that, he's going to find love? He believes everybody's lying to him. He believes the government is not going anywhere. He just want, I just want D. So if you balance both things, the only thing that is a huge differential is, there's immigration pressure here. But again, there's a lot of pressure. Like the fact that you just wake up in Nigeria, you just step outside, there's already pressure. It's pressure to get to work, I grew up in Lagos, so getting through traffic is already pressure. You get to work, you're already on edge. It doesn't somebody has, she can tell you, I can slap you. So if you put everything on the table that same way, you're running the same race. But here there's a kind of, I think it's just about perspective, really. It's because there's people, I feel like I built a stronger community here than I had back home, and that's a lot, right? And it's just because there's a lot, people are a lot more worked up here. Where you're okay, like all of you already said it, but you don't realize you said it. There's already a pathway to what you're looking for. You know that this is what you have to do to settle into the province. Someone that moves from Abia State to Lagos State genuinely does not have any idea how he or she is going to settle into the state, right? You have a pathway that you can walk in here, so you're just trying to run that race and finish that race. But in Nigeria, you can start a race and you're thinking it's 3 years and you're there for 10 years, you're not moving anywhere. So I think it's a perspective thing. But me, I'm just slightly leaning to the side of it might actually be easier here, really.
Yeah, I hear you, Dami. And could this be a kind of some people here probably are the ones taking care of all the bills, and they are the one navigating through things, and they are just, there's really nothing, there's no support from anywhere. Would there be a differential between someone that has a support here and someone without a support when it comes to this type of issues, seen in that perspective? Could there be a differential?
Oh yeah, but then it's going to be a huge differential. But again, it depends on how people look at things, right? Me personally, I see love as a journey, not a destination, right? I don't see love as a point on the graph. I see it as the entire graph. So it has highs and lows, right? If you see it as a point on the graph, and that's the problem, because if you're looking at it as, I want to make money first, I want to get my papers first, then it is a point on the graph. So you feel like when you get to this certain state, it's supposed to fall on your laps. But when you look at it as a journey, while you're building from scratch, right, you're already putting pieces, you're like brick by brick. Then when you get to the point that you're comfortable, which is still what you're working towards, you just in your mind you think it just happens, but no, you've actually been working on it little by little. The difference will now be that you and somebody that did not put it, or that looks at it as a point, when you get to that point, you've already built some certain level, so it's easier for you. But the other person has to now be like, oh, okay, I'm here now. Yeah, love's supposed to come and find me, but it really is not going to come and find you. Like, you're supposed to have been putting in work from the start. So that's how I see it. I see it as a journey. So I'm not like, I won't shy away from love because I'm going through stuff or I have things on my head. I would build at that phase in time, right? At that point, wherever it is. If it gets to the point where I'm stable, fine. If it doesn't, remove. So that's how I see it. I don't see it as a point. Like, it's not just one thing. It's supposed to be brick by brick.
Thank you. Well, this perspective, they've been very great. And one of the things we are trying to do things like this is to get different perspective, because sometimes when we talk to other people, we kind of have, other perspective to this and see. And this is not just for, it's for generations to come. Thank you very much. So I have a question here, and it says, from your own experience or observation, what do you think people struggle with the most when it comes to relationship abroad? So I'm just going to read this again. What do you think people struggle with, personal experience, observation, the most when it comes to relationship abroad? Do you want to help us do you want to say something about this?
All right. Yeah. So for me, I think people struggle a lot with emotional availability. People have heard a lot of things. We have seen a lot of stuff happening on social media. We are busy, right? We are, like we said earlier, we're trying to build and settle in and all of that. And we have also seen some examples, not so good examples of marriages, of relationships here abroad. So people have opinions. Some people are hiding from past hurts, right? And there's just the availability to actually build something real. I think that's one of the biggest things that people struggle with, apart from finding the right person, which is like number one. But then, being available is really essential if you're going to find or be the right person for whoever you're waiting for.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, what's your perspective on what do you think people struggle with the most? What is the struggle? If you have a personal experience or what you probably have observed from other people, what will you say?
So I almost got into a relationship. What I'd say the major problem was it's balancing work. I was studying, I was trying to balance work with study. So yes, just like you first said, it would be the emotional unavailability, right? At first, that is number one for me. Then having it all together. Trying to have it all together because everyone expects you to have it together. So no one wants to be in a relationship with someone who doesn't have everything arranged in his head. You don't have to be there. That's a good thing about women here in the diaspora. You don't have to be there yet, but you should have a clear picture of where you're going to. If you don't have it all together in quotes, then it's a no-no. So those are the two things that I know. It's a major problem, or are the major problems. So this brings me back to the point I wanted to make. It's easier to find love and true love where I'm coming from. Okay, true love is not easy. You can argue this. We can pick up a place to fight about this. I will fight about this. I'm talking to Dami. I'm touching the table right now. True love is hard to find here. You can find love in quotes, but true love is difficult. Why? Because here, everyone who has hustled, everyone who has found their way, is all about, you know what? Okay, now it's time to settle down. Who is available? Dami seems to be available. Dami seems to be doing okay. He's been here for 3 years. He's got his papers. He's got his master's degree. Now look at him. He has fancy headphones and fancy microphones. All about it. So he's ready. He's ready. He's ready to settle down. That is all it is about in the diaspora. So when someone is ready to settle down, it's not about, oh, I love this person. I've known them for a while. We've been in Lagos traffic together. We grew up together, or we've been friends for a while. No, it's about who is ready. That's not true love. That's going for what is ready or who's available. And you don't see people getting married to someone who doesn't have papers. It's all about, oh, I want someone who has papers. God, I don't want to just get married to anybody and then we start afresh. Let's look for someone who has papers. And that's not true love. So, Dami, pick a place. We'll fight about this.
No, for sure. Um, I have my boxing gloves already.
Yeah.
You think both of you are in this ask?
Very
Don't
interesting.
worry.
I think you can still find true love here. I mean, in the midst of everything going on, really. We are people and we are creatures of love, whether in Africa or here in the diaspora. So the key is really finding the right person. I don't think at any point in time would you have everything figured out 100%. So even if you figured out the path of immigration, there'll still be something else you're figuring out. Even if you are a director in your organization right now, you're still going to be figuring out how you want to become the president or something. There'll always be something you are gunning for. So having a clear, just having an idea, it doesn't have to be, and you don't have to have understand it 100%, but just having an idea of what you are working towards, and when you're working towards that, I think we are all work in progress. Eventually, we would work together. If you find someone who complements you, you guys can both work together and achieve something and do life together. So you can find true love anywhere. It's people. I can want to.
This is coming from someone. This is definitely that is exactly how someone who has found true love would
No,
sound.
Those are
That is
allegations.
fine.
no. This
And
These
is
are allegations.
my.
those are valid points. Those are valid points. Actually, it's not out of 10. No.
I think
I mean, if it's not hard, it's not worth it now. If it's not hard, it's not worth it now. It can't be easy now. You need to work for it.
yeah.
It has to be hard now.
I think an open heart. I think this was something that Dami had mentioned. Is
So he's
perspective.
saying that
Yeah.
What people struggle with most.
The
it's
perspective.
easier to find love than what's your own perspective? You think
If it's easier to find love here than home,
I mean it's easier to find love in your
I don't know.
I mean, okay, so let me just go to the topic if you don't know that. So the
I
topic
can only say what people struggle with most in like relationship abroad here. Just like what Sister Ife mentioned, I think emotional availability is a big one because a lot of people want love, but they're kind of protecting themselves because of maybe past experience. So because of that, they find it very hard to make themselves available emotionally. And another thing again is clarity. I've personally experienced situations where like you're emotionally connected to someone, you're spending time building something, but it feels like there's no clear definition. So I think another thing here that people struggle with most is clarity. Yes, clarity and emotional availability. Yes.
you are like the thing is doing like
There's really just one big thing, really. No, but yeah, go ahead. Because if I start now, I'll shake tables again.
It's a big thing because I don't know. I don't know. Maybe due to past experience, people are finding it very hard to like commit or define what you guys, that kind of thing. They're giving
No, me, I agree with you.
that, I want to build something with you, and your head, you're like, okay, we're getting to know each other, but it's not defined. God, what are you doing? You lack clarity. Want to be no now. So I think it's a big thing here. Yeah, people struggle with defining what they're into and making themselves emotionally available. Yeah. So they just want to I think everybody wants love, so they just want to play along, that kind of thing, just just go with the flow rather than defining or making yourself, available, that kind of, yeah.
So are you saying that we have lots of players in quotes?
No.
That's what
I'm here.
But I mean, hold on. Are you saying because actually I think that's the thing, but I speak for the men. Are you saying because you're sounding like you have personal experience about this?
Yeah, it sounds like an attack.
People that don't define relationship and they want to go with the flow.
Just one D.
In master quotes. So is that what you're trying to say? Are you saying that in the diaspora it's hard to find serious relationships?
I think it's hard because people are finding it very, like I said, people are finding it very difficult. So one of it I know I got to understand is past experience, maybe because of how your past relationship went. So the fear of committing, because of that, you're now doing like Nigerian NEPA on and off, that kind of thing.
But to be fair, no.
Then you're like,
I don't know.
tomorrow you're like, chill.
No, but it depends though. It depends on it still depends on perspective. I think the biggest thing is like an envelope of everything we've all said. I think it's idealization, and this is my biggest problem when most people I talk about. And this is for everybody, including me, we're all on these boats. We love the idea of love more than love itself. We all love the idea more than love itself. Everybody remembers, you always quickly remember the part where you already arrived there, but you forget everything else. I always use football examples, everything I say. It's only a crazy footballer that would always remember the game days and forget the days that he trains. You train 6 times a week to play one game. It's the same way. So people are all there with the idea. I think it was Efe that said something about social media. Massive problem. You can be fine, you're good, your boyfriend is okay, there's no problem in the world. You just open TikTok, somebody is going to Dubai, after 2 days he's in Togo, the next 2 days he's in Sierra Leone, there's problem. You don't know why you're angry, but you're just angry. It's the idea, like, and why I say it's the idea is because at the end of the day, when all the chips are down, you find out that everybody actually knows that this is how this thing is supposed to go. But just in that moment, you love the idea, and that's what happens. So you meet someone, before you even know who the person is and understand the deep things about this person, you've built things in your head, which is totally fine. Like, you have to have plans, right? But you need to know how to wedge, how you match these things. And it goes everywhere. It goes in trust, it goes with intentions, it goes with clarity. Because it doesn't matter how clear somebody will be. If you've already driven to the end of the bridge and the guy is just at the beginning of the bridge, you will never be at the same place. It doesn't matter how clear he'll be in communicating. If you're already thinking far and he's just trying to start from the beginning, or vice versa, there's no way to make sense. So I think it's just like, that's where everybody needs to just come back first. Like, me, I just say, wait, baby steps. Like, that place you are going, first calm down first. Like, take your time. And it's easy to say, but it's very, very hard. Because once you find the slightest connection, let me use maybe a Queen's example, she's saying with our friend now. You've seen something that you like that you've not seen from anybody else, right? That is good. You have to hold on to it. But that cannot be everything. Because you found out one thing, you now hold on to that thing, you build on that one thing so much, you don't see everything else. So all you're saying is, I have an idea of this girl. And then what happens, because this happened to me before, what happens is that because you build that thing so much, it becomes an umbrella for every other thing. So when you see the things that should be seemingly signs for you, you're like, maybe she does this one, I'm fine. Like me now, I find someone that likes football, and then I know that she likes football a lot, so I can watch football with her. And then I see red flags, and I'm like, she will watch football together, and I move away. It's not a problem at the start, but what I'm doing is that I'm building an idea of who she is. I'm not loving who she is. And it will not happen. So 6 months down the line, something else happens, and then I'm not looking at it. It's a lie. I'm lying to myself. I saw it from the start. It did not come from nowhere. She did not just show her true colors. It was there from the start, but I didn't just take it. So that's how I'll draw my line, though.
So a quick one, guys.
Hell no, bro. I'm never married. What do you mean? Nah. Please.
Could the barrier be more like because you're focusing on somebody from your community? Could that also be a barrier, or let me ask that question. Could one of the barriers be because we are focusing on people from our community? And if why? Heike.
So, firstly, it's easier to connect people from your community. It's easier because, first of all, we have the culture. You're in a different place, right? You're still trying to learn. You're trying to recover from the culture shock, and now having to date someone with a different culture entirely. First of all, you don't eat akpu like I eat akpu. You understand? So I'm eating pizza for breakfast instead of to make kebab for me for breakfast. That kind of a thing, right? So that's just a joke to start with. But the culture shock, I think, it scares people, right? I'm scared enough that I had to learn how to use the roads first. I don't want to go all the way to start again. To learn how to learn your culture from start, to teach you how to tie boba the way I was, all those kind of stuff. I think people are just scared that if I start afresh, and people just go for the easy part. Just like Dami said, people just like the idea of love. But when it comes to putting in the work, nobody wants to put in the work, right? But then the idea of love should not have nothing to do with culture. if we actually look into it. If you actually love someone, if you're open to love, anybody could fall in love. You could fall in love with someone from Kenya, someone from anywhere in the world. So I think yes, I think first of all, limiting ourselves to people from our community actually contributes to being Lord of the Rings. You know, wearing one ring for a very long time, or being single for a very long time. So yes, that can contribute to creating a myopic sense of your environment. You don't want anything to do with
Queen,
anyone, or
I have a
you
question
haven't
for
found
you.
the right one,
So,
and then it takes you forever
my
to look for
question
the
to
right
you
one.
is,
Yes, it contributes. I believe so.
do you think that if you see someone from another that is not Africa, would you be open? And how could one, let me not make it about you, how can one position herself now as a lady to be able to be open to other people? Because I'm saying this because most times, because you are looking for the kind of person, I'm looking for the kind of person that I am. I'm black, I'm looking for a black person, so there's a way I know that this thing is supposed to be, like, to place myself. I know that this person will understand. So now if you are looking for other people from other places, how can give an idea of how you can position yourself so that other people can also notice the person, you know? Do you understand my question?
Firstly, I would say try to be like approachable, like let me say friendly. I think that's one, because if you're not friendly, if you're not somebody that does how to like, you don't necessarily have to be a talkative, like talk, and maybe throw yourself out there, but like you should seem approachable. Like, oh, if this person looks like I can approach her, this person seems like I can have a conversation with her, that kind of thing. I think you should just
I'll ask you this
position
question.
yourself like that. Yeah,
Do you
you
see
know,
that the
that is
trend
one.
for the word so far that I know in Nigeria, where we mean in Nigeria, is that as a lady you have to position yourself for the guy to notice you. So do you think there could be a change of perspective? Do you think there could be a change of perspective here to be other way but not seen as being forward? What's your perspective on that?
So, my 2 cents on this. I think in our culture, we would see a lady approaching a guy as being forward, but for some other cultures, it would be absolutely normal. So, if one is interested in going out of our culture, by all means, you might want to shoot your shots. If you have positioned yourself, you are as approachable as possible, you're being friendly and giving all the green lights, but the guy's not getting it. Well, maybe you
Happy
shoot
for
your
you.
shots. Maybe that's how they see it.
So you
I
see,
don't know how that
when
would
I'm
work. I
taking the
haven't
guys
tried
to
that
show
one
that.
yet. So, but
So
yeah,
the things I've heard are actually
That's
absolutely.
on.
it's stressful. I don't know, guys. Please take
I
it.
mean,
The guys are already going through stress, and they don't want to be following girls like they follow them in Nigeria. And I'm not saying they are looking for forward girls to come and be. That can also be scary for them. But I think they are looking for people that are also a bit, okay, I'll give you an example. One of my colleagues in my former place of work, she's white actually, and we're trying to ask her, because once in a while we do like get together and like ask questions, and we asked her this question. We said, how did you meet your husband? He said, oh, they were just friends, and the guy was a very like calm, easy, gentle guy, and he was just friendly, and he just invited the guy for dinner. Bam. And in the house, and another time just invite the guy. They were still friends. Nobody was telling anybody anything, and I mean, to cut the long story short, they have 3 kids right now. So if you look at that, she never asked the guy. She never said anything. But she saw that the guy was very nice. Okay, maybe this guy,
Never.
she created that atmosphere. So those are the kind of things I'm trying to ask. Maybe like now most of us don't have families here. So how can one create that atmosphere? Because we don't want to be forward to go say, I like you, How can it be in such a way that it looks like you are open, the guy sees light. At the same time, it's tricky. You also want to be kind of careful because you don't want to show that and get like, who is this? I already have, and so it's more like holistic perspective. Dami.
my opinion is that I would, as much as I like it, it's a very slippery slope because I know my gender, right? Like, and it's so you're just opening up yourself to unnecessary
I think you need to expand on that.
opportunities for problems, right? So you can be forward. You want me to, wow, no. I'll only say two things. I want to expand my agenda. I can't break the code. One, men still and will always love the chase. Every man, as much as you tell you like free money, there's no. Aki will tell me. Aki can back me up on this. There's nothing as good as when you work for your money, and that's how it is for every man. Every man enjoys when he works for something. So men still enjoy the chase. Two, if you do too much, it's one or two things that will happen. It can only be one or two things. One, the guy's never going to take you serious. Two, he's going to run away. That's what is going to happen. So there's a way you can now. Where the table me I want to break is the ones that are inside your house. Your husband will not fall from your ceiling and land on your legs. You will sleep there. And I know it's even worse here. Everybody is from Saskatoon. You can't even try rubbish. When it's winter, from my car to church, from church to gym, from gym I'm playing ball. Before you say hi, hey, I'm ready inside my car. I have like 4 things on my face. You can't even see my face. So if in all of that happening already, you now choose to be introverted, then you're on a long thing. That's the only thing I can say. So being introverted is a no-no, especially here. But you have to be in a way where you can create an atmosphere. I think that's what Kim was trying to allude to. You have to be there where you don't necessarily have to be the one inviting him to dinner, but you can put it on the table without putting it on the table. Like, there are ways, like I said, most guys are very observant. It's just the whole nonchalant thing is because nonchalance will not exist if there was not a factor that people actually know what they are doing. Everybody knows what they're doing. So the fact that you can say, oh, men can be nonchalant is because they know, they just choose to turn the other way, right? So guys observe a lot more than we give them credit for. That's the honest truth. So that little thing that you think you're doing that he's not seeing, he is. You just have the response. You just don't like what the response is like. So all I'll say is you have to create the atmosphere. Like, yeah, accept a couple more outings. Be vocal with whatever spaces you're in. If you gym a lot, if whatever you attend, just be there. Don't just be there and just like in one corner. There's a couple people like I see them like every week or twice a week in church. I probably only heard like 2 words from their mouth or in the gym. Like there's no magic that's going to happen. I'm not going to be drawn to have longer conversations with those kind of people, right? Even if God should say, "Oh, damn it, that's why," I'll be like, bro, can we relate? Can we converse? Can we negotiate? Because I'm like, how do you want me to do it? I can't just jump that way. So yeah, like when you're in those kind of spaces, you have to talk, you have to go. But of course, I'm always there for a woman that shoots her shot. Like I appreciate women that shoot their shots. They're very. I will not share my personal experience, so do not beat me on the internet. But but okay, all I'll say is my previous relationship, the shot was not for me. I'm not saying any further. I'm not taking any further questions. That's what I'm going to say.
And Dami, what do you mean by you shouldn't do too much as a lead? Like, what's the definition of doing too much or not doing too much?
Let's use the example that Ara brought, right, where she asked the man to dinner, right? Asking him to dinner is enough. He comes to dinner, yeah? Everything that happens at dinner, you don't have to step. Do you get? Men want to lead, right? They want to open the door. So you've played that card already, right? You don't have to. If you dictate everything, like it shouldn't be you asking all the questions. Don't set the pace at the dinner, right? If you've opened the floor, yeah, the dinner is there now. Allow the guy to step, and then he gives you your answer is there. If he's reluctant, that's not the kind of guy you want. That shows you that he's not going to be able to make decisions. It's clear there, or he's not very interested. Do you get? You already have your answers there. Because if you're the one like you called the dinner, you're pouring the wine, you're asking the questions, you're planning the next dinner, you're exchanging the phone numbers. That's doing too much because you already have your answer. You just don't like it. Like I said, everybody knows what they're doing. There's no consenting adult man, a male, like a male, not the other kind of male. Let's know what we're doing. Male that goes on a dinner date with a woman and doesn't know what he's doing. Do you get? So you've already opened that door. It's like someone takes you to a vault now and opens the vault and puts the money there. Are you going to sit there in the vault and just wait? Is you that will go and pick the money and put it in your bag now and walk outside? Do you get? So you've opened the door. The guy is there. If he doesn't say the right things, if you have to push, then that's doing too much. Do you get? Or you call him for dinner date, he cancels last minute 1, 2, 3 times, and he are still sending messages, you're still shooting shot. Then you're doing too much. So at that point in time, it's hard. It's hard for the guy to take you serious, and you're on a very slippery slope. It can work, right? There's times where you put people to pressure, but especially with men, it's a very slippery slope where for no reason you just put yourself at harm's way, right? If it's the wrong kind of person that doesn't have good faith, right? You just open yourself to harm's way for no reason. So yeah, it's good. Shoot your shot, start it,
Then I
but
would
for no reason
advise,
should you be the one driving.
if that's the case, I would say you shouldn't do anything.
Guy to dinner, but there was a green light. There was a kind of green light. She didn't just invite. But if I hear you properly, Dami, what you're saying is you have to be. It's a thin line between both, and you have to be very like smart. You have to be very smart about it. So if you see that there's a green light, you don't want to be like into
Just be
yourself,
careful.
like you will
Yep.
come, you will chase me, because I think some people are not ready for that 100% chase. They just want the green light and they can move. And at the same time, you have to read in between the lines, and you have to be very careful what you push for. And if you push, some of the tricks that I see that has happened in the past, I mean, is you do green lights, you remove green lights, and the person is all lost. So I don't know if those kind of tricks still still, because if you are doing green, the guy is like red.
No, no, no. It's reciprocity now. Is That's what Queen is asking. Is like that's one of my biggest values is reciprocity. If I put a finger forward, I'm expecting to see you put a finger back. If you don't, I can push 1, 2, 3 times. But when I see that there's no like you're not respecting what I'm doing, then there's no point. Like now, if you open up the dinner date and everything goes fine, and then it's a week, it's 2 weeks, the guy is not asking you for when you next are going to see. It doesn't have to be a dinner date. He's already giving you an answer. Like, do you understand what I mean? It's the same way. If you go out with someone and you have a good conversation, subconsciously you're thinking of the next time. But somebody has to bring it to the table, right? More often than not, it should be the guys that are bringing that to the table. And that's what, like when I started from saying is, everybody knows what they are doing. Everybody, so if the guy's not asking you to go like the next step, he knows what he's doing. So you don't need. I don't feel like any woman. Me, I grew up with women. Like I have younger sisters. I have a lot of sisters. I'm the only boy at home. So I tend to put women on a very high pedestal. So I don't feel like you have to be doing all of that. Maybe that's why I have that perspective. You've opened the door. The guy knows exactly what he's doing now. If you're not pushing too much, you're just running a risk. It's like I said, it's a risk. There's a high chance that it can work. I have people that is like that. But sometimes it's necessary.
I've been, I've
No,
been,
so why would
I've
you
been in
even
lots of
open the door set from the beginning? Like, why should you lady even?
Personally, for me, I
No,
would.
no, no, no. I'm for women shooting shots. So please, oh, let
let's
my
not
women shoot
forget
their shots, please,
let's not
please,
forget
oh.
that when it comes to love, there is no
But
manual.
I will set a
There is,
pace. I will set the atmosphere such a way
Why?
Exactly. I won't do that. I
that you
don't
guys
know.
would next move. But I won't take the lead. But what I would say is
You can
set
invite
it.
me for dinner.
You have to be
Exactly.
like, if I
Okay,
see a
okay.
guy I like
Maybe
in
dinner is too
gym, I
far. Would
say
you make the
hi.
first approach to a guy? You see a guy you like at the
Let's
gym.
say, for
Would you make the first?
example,
Would you just say hi
I'm in the
first?
gym. I can come close to you and say, hey,
Like just anywhere. Like, would you say hi first in any setting?
and after that moment, I will never talk to you for like you send message to me, I'll not even reply you. And that way, I need to hook. I've hooked you whether you yes it or no it.
You,
Because me, I feel like this
yo,
girl that is falling for me,
that's
something
that.
this girl is not happening. You just start sending messages to me. Ah, what's happening? What's happening? I'll give you another simple baby light. That way, you are. By the time you will finish, it's you that will say, okay, really, okay. But at the beginning, so that's why I think it requires a lot of time. Yeah. Okay, are you trying to say something?
so I was trying to say that there is no manual for love. All these things are just our personal experiences, right? Dami said he's from a family of women. I am too. I'm the only male in my family. I have 3 nieces. I have 3 sisters. I have a loving mom. I'm the only male, right? So
Valid.
I know women. I can tell you that I know women. And I've dated to have been in relationships. And to be honest, the relationship where the lady actually makes more effort in keeping or in establishing connection with the man is yeah happens to be the most interesting ones for me, right? Like I said, there is no manual. So it just depends on both parties. There is no manual. So some ladies would be saying, I will never in my life, no, 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 I will never stoop so low to make the first approach to a guy. That is because there are some guys who are not even matured enough to even, some guys are too childish to want to even, they don't even know what they want at first. Mind you, setting clues, giving clues. Some people are clueless, so I used to be
Honestly,
clueless, so I used to be so clueless that my friends would be like, "Bro, this girl likes you. Why you being an idiot?" I'd be like, "No, she doesn't. She does cook for me now. She does bring food for me now. Everything be." They'd be like, "Are you blind?
But it's just food now. Nobody does food.
Your spiritual eyes. She loves you." I'd be like, "Okay." Then I start seeing. But imagine not having friends to tell you things like that. People can be clueless. Okay, so if you think that the standard is walking up to me in the gym, first of all, me going to the gym. The last time I was at the gym, I was trying to correct my shoulders. So imagine a lady walking up to me, hi, and I say hi, hello, and then you walk out. Me, I don't forget you with that though.
Sharp.
I'm going back to fixing my shoulders.
Quick, bro.
So I might have something in my head at that point in time. I mean, it works for people who are sensitive at the time, right? So that was before, but now people get so sensitive. And what if I'm looking for a connection and that happens? Well, that's a cue for me. Wow, that's a connection. I can. But if I'm not, if I'm seeing crazy at the point, and then you come, hi, it's another hi, or maybe I had issues. Maybe I've been accused of domestic violence, or doing, here it gets so rampant. Talk
Yes,
to the wrong
yes.
person, you think she's 30 something, meanwhile she's just 17. What if I just came out of that and then
God, I
open up and you're
beg.
saying hi, I beg you,
God, I beg you.
like that. So yeah, it depends. There is no manual. So it just depends on, if you see someone you like. I'm of the opinion, I'm of the notion that you walk up to them. I've been to a house party in Nigeria. This was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and everyone was dancing and all of that. I brought the drinks in. I sat down. I wasn't expecting any connection. I just came out of heartbreak of 2 years. It was still fresh. I didn't want any connection. This lady just walks up to me and they said we should do a truth or dare. I want to dance with you. With a wine. Dance with who? I am not dancing. And they said if I don't dance, I have to finish 3 shots of alcohol. I couldn't take alcohol because I'm dealing with heartburn. So I couldn't even risk it. If I take alcohol, they'll have to rush me to the hospital that night. I said, she please dance. I will dance. And I can twerk. I will twerk. Let's go. Let's dance. And after that night, she collected my number. I was so excited, like, wait, this lady is bold. I love me a bold lady, right? Don't like me and sit down there I might be thinking the same thing, like, this one should be another heartbreak now. And she looks quite flashy. If I go there now, she might be like, who knows? I'm not dressing the right way to even approach her at that point in time, but I want to. But she's not looking at my dressing. She's like, let me go for this guy. I said, but if you're also sitting waiting for me to make the first move, I'm not saying I'm not man enough, but I may not be in the right position to make that move. Make your move. It's 2026. This is not our grandmother's era. If you like a guy, make the move. If
Shoot
he's
your shot.
if he's childish, if he's being an idiot, then leave him. Move on. But maybe he's not matured enough then. If you set your cues,
He's cooking
invite him
food
for
for me to
dinner, don't
find
be
it out
like
in
me. If you cook food
2026.
and the guy is still not seeing, he's not seeing the reason why you're cooking food for him, then move on. Yeah.
Nobody's cooking for anybody in this
yeah.
era.
I beg you, they're cooking food
Nobody
for
is
me,
cooking
oh,
for somebody.
They're
please.
cooking food for you.
Before let's know what we're saying now. Before they stop cooking food for me,
Because of
please,
my
oh, please,
I'll
oh.
just say something and I have one
Before the food will
response.
stop now,
Period.
I'm just going to beg you.
I beg you, let's
For
not stop the
women, I
food.
mean, in my own perspective, sometimes instinct, when I say instinct, a pure instinct, not desperative instinct, goes a long way to tell you, I mean, who can be like you can. But it's tricky. You have to be very smart about it. I mean, the girl that walked up to IK, I'm sure the girl, if something ever happened, I'm sure the girl did not go on and on and on. I have to retrieve at a time, and being able to be very intuitive, instinct. I mean, if you are a person of faith, the Holy Spirit gives boldness sometimes. You could know the right time. The Bible says that it will say this is the way, walk therein. So there could, like he said, it might not be confident at that time to, push that, but just giving that green light, not in a way that, oh, let's have something together, but just being friendly could make somebody to think about. But because of our time, I know we have something to say about this. One question I would like to ask, Queen, would you be open to somebody outside of your terrain? I know you are in the Western world. Would you be open to somebody from Nigeria to have a relationship with them?
Well, it depends, to be very honest. It depends. There's no harm in trying. Let's say, for example, if you know the person, like you knew the person before, moving, and if you think it's going to work, I'm open to that for sure. But On the other hand, if it's someone I don't really know, I think I may have difficulty in opening up. Yes, if I don't know the person, maybe the person is just, maybe someone is trying to link us up or connect. I might find it difficult because I don't know you and I don't know anything about you. I think I'm gonna find it very difficult. I may not even give it a chance. But if it's I knew you before moving, and I'm like, okay, I already have an idea about you, yeah, I may want to give it a try. And then it takes you being intentional, the update back to back.
Matchmaking,
Yeah.
either in the Western world or in Nigeria. What's your perspective about matchmaking? Is
I
it where the
think it
match is
depends
coming
on
from or who
where
the
the
match is
match is
coming from?
coming from, who is actually doing. Yeah, yeah, who the match is coming from. Yeah, if it's someone that I trust, well, to an extent, I would be open to that. But if it's some random person that just, oh, if you're still
That's all I'm
single, I know this
implying
person.
now.
Nah, come on. Nah.
That's all
But if
I'm
it's someone that I
implying.
trust, I mean,
Then what's your perspective?
yeah, okay, well, we can consider that. Yeah. There's no harm in trying, but I think it's also
Okay, you
wisdom
I
to
totally
not
agree with you on that.
spread your
Despite the
emotions
fact that we are saying
carelessly.
that people
Yeah,
should
your time and your
be
emotions. Yeah.
forthcoming, you
Yeah.
have to, your forthcomingness should not come with, it has to be. Your forthcomingness should come with, you're just playing it, just catching fun. One thing that I've seen that has worked is if you are
Yeah.
catching fun, you will get what you are looking for most of the time. Because in catching fun, because you are not, well, it has worked for some people that I know, so maybe I will not generalize it. But if you are catching fun, like okay, you are going for football, you are, see, do you know that? I don't know, but I think that you can target somebody indirectly if you want to target somebody either as a man or as a woman. You can target somebody indirectly and be doing something, but that's the person you are targeting, you are doing everything, and the person will still come at the end of the day. So some of these things requires, maybe we should do something on that, on how to get somebody indirectly. Anyway, damn me. I know you want to talk. Don't worry, this topic I will. So Dami,
Me,
what would be your
I'm quiet.
advice
I'm as silent. I'm as
to
gentle as a
someone that
dove.
wants to be in a long distance relationship and there's likelihood that there might be a green light? What would your advice be on how so that they can be alert to know if this thing is going to work? And if the person requires you to be the one to bring them, either as a man or a woman, what would be the green or the red flag for you? Do you understand my question?
Yeah, I do understand your question. It's just like at the start, I have a bias for distance, and just from personal experience, I have beef with distance. It's never worked out for me. I mean, it worked out one time, but and it was the distance wasn't the problem, but eventually I had to walk away from the relationship. So I don't really like the idea of distance. But in this context, right, I think what's important is the end goal. And that's one thing that worked because over like my last relationship that started with distance, and when Queen was talking, I'm like, do we live the same life? Because it was the same. We're dating in Nigeria. She came to Canada a year before me, like a whole year, and then we came here afterwards, and we're together still. So many people were like, yeah, how? I'm like, what stood up for me was because I mean we're already there for a year, and even before she left, I knew I was going to get here. At least I knew she didn't know I was going to come. So that's why I feel like the end goal is what, because at the end of the day, there has to be tangibles when you're having like, so for in this context now, and whichever partner is in the position of bringing the person from has to be grounded, because if you allow the idea of it is the papers that you're bringing this person from, you're going to crash. You're going to crash heavy, because if it's like I always tell people, there's a very funny algorithm with the way life works. When you're focused on something, that's all you ever see. If that's what you're thinking about, I promise you, everything you scroll, every conversation you have, you will see the one that brought his wife to UK and the wife left him, or the wife was using bed pills, or the husband came and then you found a white babe. You will see all those things. So that's why I'm like, you just have to be grounded. So the first thing is, are we doing this together? That's one. Two is, what is the end goal? The end goal is you're coming here, right? And we are both doing it. Why I use that word? That word both is very important, because if it becomes a one-sided thing, like for example now, if it becomes, oh, it's Dami that's bringing Sarah, and that's what it is, then the day we have an argument or a disagreement, it's not going to magically come from the devil. It's already in my mind, because I know it's Dami that's bringing. I'll be like, oh, it's because of this. And then there's some words that, while you don't mean them, you really can't take them back. Once that's already introduced into the mix, and you say things like, oh, Shebi's me that's bringing you here now, I'm getting the papers done for you, it doesn't register immediately, but you're sowing a seed that will almost always lead in a crash. So the thing is, the end goal has to be the same. So your goal, in that kind of context, my advice would be, the goal should be, we're working to both be in the same place together. So that way you're not looking at, oh, it's me that's filing for you, it's me that's paying for you. Your own goal is, oh, this is the woman, this is my woman. I want to get my woman to be with me together, right? I'm not helping somebody. I'm not bringing a family member from Nigeria. No. Once that's out the table, then you guys are working hand in hand. I think it's easier to walk through the distance. But again, there has to be something tangible, guys. If it's you met the person here and the person is in Nigeria, I don't know. I think you're in some serious trouble. But if there's something before, maybe, past connections, maybe. Or if you have the money to travel to Nigeria like once or twice, yeah. But apart from that, yeah, that's how I'll put it.
Or would you rather support in their coming, then you guys do whatever you want to do to be sure that they are still the right person for you? Which one would you rather go by?
Okay, first of all, my love language, the first line of my love language is physical touch. So it's going to be very difficult to even have to have a relationship for months with someone who is thousands of miles away from me, right? I wouldn't want to gamble on that.
Going on
Let's
well,
assume,
would you detach? No, I mean, be factual. Would you detach? Some people
okay,
detach. I mean, it doesn't work for them. Would you detach?
okay, okay. So if everything is going on well, and no, of course not, I won't detach. That means I've had it in mind. That means I've had it in mind to bring the person, or to spend the rest of my life with the person to start
So
with.
now let's say
Yes,
somebody
so
that
I
you
would be
met
willing
along the
to
line.
even
Would you
go all
rather let the
in to
person
bring the person
in
over
your
as soon as
conversation as
possible,
you
to be
keep
candid.
talking? You kind of see like there's some green lights. Would you rather let the person, like, tell the person to come and see if things are going to work, or would you be ready to support? Which one would you rather go by first? Yeah. Yes. You're not dating them. You're not actually, because okay. So let's say
Along
you
the
are,
line.
somebody
So
say,
let's
yeah,
assume
yes,
that I
boss
start dating
in
someone along the line,
somewhere,
thousands
and
of
boss
miles
is
away.
nice, and you get talking, and it's almost like, I don't know how people say that, since that are kind of. So you are looking at, because she might be a good prospect. Would you be saying things like, do you want to come, like, start inviting her, but not you sponsoring it, helping her to see how she can self-sponsor herself? Or would you rather be ready to part way to, like, do a bit of it for her to come? Which one would you go first by first?
Okay. Now I understand. So I'll throw it to the table. I want to see what they think, because some people just when they hear that someone is
Yeah,
abroad,
finished it.
they start looking for connections. Like, I
What
beg,
is
let me
it?
find person where they see another. Look for person where they see another. I beg, I
Facts.
want that.
Facts.
Yeah. So in cases like that, you want to throw it to the table, and then you ask, what are your plans? Okay. All right. Yeah. So what are your plans? So then if the person asks you back and be like, sure you sponsor me, let me
How do you know the
come.
person is serious? And you
And
have two
then
parts.
it's
How do you
like
really
I
know the
said, it
person
still
is serious?
depends. If you see that this person is serious, this person
People
loves you
can
for
deceive,
real,
but don't
it
be
will show.
carried away.
It will show. It will show in the conversations. It will show in how people are good in pretending.
I
People are
think
good in
in
pretending.
that scenario where the person is depending
They will
on
show
you
100.
to bring them over, they will show seriousness. You will hear everything you want to hear. All your boxes will be checked.
And that's where the spirit of discernment comes in.
Bless your soul. Bless your soul.
Exactly what I was
That's when
about
you
to
will
say. So
know
you would
if,
know.
because some people are very good, like very, oh my, they can be very patient. They won't,
Yeah.
they won't,
Ask you. They'll
they
ask
will
you, did
play
you bring
the
up the
very well. And then when they come here, so it takes, you just need the spirit of discernment, honestly, for you to be able to tell that, okay, it's worth it or no. I think when you have that, then you're
because
good
This
to
is a
go.
very conversational. It's
I
very
guess volume
explained
two
to
will
you,
have
and it's been wonderful.
more of the
So I've
answer.
just
Um so in a few seconds I'll say find yourself.
Bless you.
Find yourself first. Find yourself. And then before you go and bring someone's daughter or before you go and deceive someone's son, find yourself so you know what you're looking for and so you're not walking into a dark room and then you just start messing things up. If you find yourself, you know what you're looking for and then boom. And do not get into a relationship out of boredom or out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You have to know what you're going for. You have to have a clear mind, a clear path of what you're
thank you
looking
very
for.
much.
I mean, I don't want to assume, so I'll just say, like, you have to have both of you yourself, and the person you're trying to look for has to have a Jesus compass. And I'll just make it very simple. I'll give an example of 3 people that live in the house from Saskatoon to Regina. One person leaves and he goes with his maps, he spends 2 hours, 30 minutes, he gets there. It's fine. Second person leaves, he decides to stop at 4 other cities before he gets there. It takes 7 hours for a 3 hours journey. Also fine. Third person leaves the house, gets into the car, is like, anywhere Belief is. Absolutely not. So the only advice I'll give is that, and that your compass here has to be Jesus, right? It just has to be at the center, because it's easier. Person A is perfect. Person A is the ideal relationship, right? You find somebody that's going where you're going. You guys have the same, right, footing. You guys go, you get there in time. But person B, you can make it work. That's where in large, like 80% of the dating pool is. So, but there has to be something pulling you back, because again, if the reason for people doing things are not the same, you will just be fighting lost battles. You can be fighting for, if your reason is from that Jesus compass. If the person does not have that Jesus compass, it doesn't matter how many times you get angry about it, he's just not going to see it that way. So person B, you can, as long as you know that, okay, yeah, this might happen, but this is what the compass is, this is where the goal is, everybody can come back together. So you find your own compass and have somebody that has that compass as well. That's all I'll say.
Experience to be like a barrier. People that probably that will be coming, that will be going to the Western world, should be a barrier to watch out for, so they don't fall a victim.
Well, I'm just going to re-echo what Ikechukwu said about finding yourself. I think that's really, really key. Your life is different from every other person's. And like we have said, there is no manual to this thing. Your story, the way it's going to pan out for you, it's not going to be like somebody else's. I hear that there is someone I listen to who says that God is too intelligent to do copy and paste. So your story is your story, right? Just come with getting love or getting married here. I think it requires more patience, it requires honesty, it requires intentionality, consistency, communication. So it's not just attraction, it's not just there's a lot more things that we have to look at, and you have to love yourself enough. That is the person you have found to be able to give yourself the right person for you. You owe yourself that. That's what I'll say.
Experience observation.
Okay. I would say the problem is not that there's no love in the diaspora, but I think people are trying to love while they're still healing, still trying to figure life, So what I would say is go heal first, because we have so many wounded people around that they don't even know that they are hurting or even bleeding on others. Because I think once you heal, you become intentional, there will be clarity, you will be emotionally available, So I would say just go heal, go see a therapist, work on yourself. Yes, before you can fully commit. Everybody needs love. Everyone needs one another. Everybody wants that feeling like, I'm being cared for. Someone is checking on me. someone is going above and beyond, but in the process of loving, you are hurting them unknowingly. So my advice would be just go heal, go work on yourself, go see a therapist, just just go refine yourself, and then it'll be very easy for you to love. It'll be very easy for you to, go for what you want. When you see this sign, you'll be like, okay, I want to experience this, but I'm better. I'm be able to approach this differently than, repeating same patterns because of past experiences.
Few things.
I'll say go heal first.
Saying exactly the same thing. Find yourself. Find yourself. Find yourself. Jesus compass. Find yourself. Heal first. So, I mean, looking at this holistically, there's something I say is if you discover yourself first, you know the kind of people you want to put into that same boat with you. For example, you discover that, oh, I want to become a pastor, just an example. Of course, kind of people you start moving around, walking around, will be around that. People probably not a part, but someone can support the vision of where you want to go to. So I totally agree with every one of you that find yourself. If you find yourself, you'll be very comfortable in your skin and you are not desperate. Because somebody said intentionality. When you are very intentional about where you are going, you have a purpose for life, you can never be desperate. And when people see purpose, people run after purpose. That's why you see that if you come out a bit as a light, people there'll be attraction to you. So 100/100, everyone on the call that will listen to us after this time, find yourself, find purpose. Don't find love or relationship like the Bible says. It says, seek ye first. There's something you seek first, and every other thing shall be added unto you.